All right, so we've got the two photo resistors wired up. They're wired up at the same time, even though we're only using one. We'll be using this one. This one is not used. Those are attached to the stepper. The stepper is connected to the stepper driver, and then everything's wired into the Arduino. It's all pretty standard. We've got the button here, just ground to 12. We've got 3.3 volts going to the photoresistor because it made it easier, and also it works. It'll have different values than everyone else if they're using 5, but it'll still give us the brightest, which is kind of the only thing that matters. We've got just power going through these, and then in between here and ground we have our analog pins reading it. So that's really all it is. The 180 sweep goes around here, so it'll stop looking here. We have 3 different light sources. We just have ambient, so we've got a window, we've got a lighter, and we've got a flashlight to give us 3 different levels. We'll also get 3 different angles from it. So for the first one, we can set up at about 90 with a very bright light, so we should see around 90 degrees and a very high value. So we'll press the button. As you can see, it stopped when that resistor was pointing at that, which was an angle of 109 and a light level of 633. And we can run it again with a different source. So we will start it, and we will as you can see, it stopped when it was looking at the lighter, and it went to an angle of 172 degrees and a light level of 87. So the lighter is a lot more down. All right, and for the third, I'll put it a little bit like this, so pointing at the window should be less than 90. As you can see, it's facing the window. And the values it gave is an angle of 62 and a light level of 63. So we've got our 3 angle values. Now to a code breakdown, it's very standard, where all the stepper values get initiated, the photoresistor values get initiated, the button values, a toggle, just because I like using it, and then some max values to make things easy. We get the stepper working there. Void setup, very simple. Have 2 inputs, the button and the photoresistor. And the photoresistor doesn't need to be a pull-up because it has its resistor in there, 5.1 kilo ohms. And then we just check if button state equals low, toggle equals 1, as opposed to 0, because it's a Boolean, so it's just gonna flip. Debounce, 350. Is it on? If it is on, is it under 180 degrees? And then if it is under 180 degrees, it's just going to increment by 1. So it's going to set it to the new angle, which starts at 0. It's going to read the photoresistor, and then it's going to check if the photoresistor is bigger than the last one, or the last maximum. And then it also records the angle, the maximum angle and the maximum light level. And then it just increments the angle up by 10, delay, or increments it by 1, and then a delay of 10 milliseconds just to make it smoother. And then once we hit 180, it's gonna go to the current angle, and then it's going to wait for 1,000. So it's gonna go back to the maximum angle that we found earlier. Wait a second, and then it's gonna go back home, which we set to 0 up top. And then we just kind of reset all our values. So new angle equals home, Pmax, display equals photoresistor maximum, toggle equals 0, photoresistor maximum equals 0, just to reset everything. And then we have our serial displays. So right now it's displaying, since the button isn't pressed and it's not trying anything, it's just displaying the maximum of both. When we press it, it gives us a pretty good readout of the values we need. And then that's just the function that we described earlier. So.